South African markets on the back foot were down around 0.6%, pretty much the same picture as what we're seeing in the likes of Europe. Of course, we had a positive day in Asia and a positive day in the US overnight. Just looking at the most recent economic data, UK GDP and what people are calling a shock contraction, down 0.5% for the fourth quarter last year.
Yes, I think overall the whole year they managed to get growth for the first time since 2007. I think they grew 1.4%, but that last quarter at minus a half was very surprising. But it did come into effect. All of that weather that they had in December, all of the snow that they had, construction especially, was down 3.3%. So that really cold weather, the coldest weather they've had in a century, really weighing on the economy. Hopefully that it is just because of that weather and not any other structural problems within that UK economy, and it recovers in the first quarter of 2011.
Well, Rob, as I mentioned, we're seeing broad-based pressure coming through for global markets. So what is driving the markets at this point in time? Because we had a good day, as I mentioned, in Asian trade today.
Yes, I think when we opened this morning, we were also relatively strong, up about 150 points. But I think what it is looking like that America is starting to settle down. People are quite comfortable with taking risk into America. And we see some of the emerging market economies taking a bit of pressure, money coming out of those economies and back into the American markets. We saw already that 22 billion rand has come out of South African bonds, and that money is probably going back into the US. So that was just in January alone. If you take that 90 billion came in the whole of last year, 22 billion in 1 month, is quite a big outflow of cash.
Is this a concern going forward, Rob? Do you think this trend is set to continue?
I think the trend is set to continue. We'll just have to see, are they going to rebalance these portfolios out of the emerging markets and into the Western economies, and especially into America, or they're going to actually disinvest out of the emerging markets. So we'll just have to see to what degree they're going to rebalance their portfolios. I think that in January now, people are coming back, they're rebalancing their portfolios, so they're taking off quite aggressively to restructure their trades. And once they've got their portfolios balanced, will the amount of the volume of sale decrease and be marginal over the year? So that's what we'll have to see, just the speed of how quickly people take some of these investments they put into emerging markets off the table.
Let's touch on some of the key companies today. We're seeing some pressure coming through in the gold mining index. No surprise there, because the gold price is also under pressure today. Harmony Gold out with second quarter gold production at its Hidden Valley mine. We saw an improvement there of 23%, quarter on quarter at 26,000 ounces of gold. Your view on this company? And we've known for some time now that most investors are averse to buying into the gold companies and would rather have exposure to physical gold.
I think this particular mine in Papua New Guinea for Harmony Gold is a very good asset for them. As you can see, the production is increasing, their costs came down considerably. So that specific asset for Harmony is very good, and if it was on its own, I think people would be buying it. However, Harmony have still got a cautionary on their production numbers, and they think that they might miss their production numbers overall. So it's their local mines that are putting them under pressure. But the numbers that came out for the Papua New Guinea mine are actually very good. And at least that's quite positive for Harmony Gold. We believe that the gold shares form the diversified miners, so rather go for the diversified miners and out of the gold mines themselves.
A smaller company, the likes of Petmin, the company is going to be investing around $2 million in capital to explore iron ore ventures in Liberia. Your view on this? And clearly, I mean, just looking at the iron ore prices and the fact that we've seen quite a dramatic increase, and of course contracting also changing quite extensively over the past year or so, are you bullish about prospects for Petmin?
I don't know enough about the asset that they're going to be exploring for in Liberia, but $2 million doesn't seem like a big outlay of cash. I think it's obviously just to get a foothold in there to see, and obviously a much bigger amount of money would have to go into that to get really good exploration and good iron ore out of that. So I think it's very preliminary at the moment, and obviously if they do find a very good asset, they'll have to come to market and obviously invest a lot more than $2 million. So I think just exploratory, just exploring the surface of it and getting a foothold in that area. But I don't think it's going to impact earnings dramatically in the next year or so.
Rob, also just touching on the likes of Freeworld, it's quite an uncertain time, and we know the offer that's been put on the table by the likes of Japanese-based Kansai as well. They're offering 12 Rand a share. Your view on this, and how do you think this is going to play out? Do you think eventually we're going to see this deal go through?
Yes, well, the initial deal that came to them was from Brait at 10.55 Rand, which they declined and took this other offer on. all the way up to 12 Rand. I think the price is very good. It's a very fair price for them, but they're showing concerns of competition problems, and they're worried about competition problems. If you take a look in South Africa, the Competitions Board has been getting more aggressive with this type of stuff, and maybe they're worried about fines going forward, and they're airing these concerns. It's surprising that it's coming from Freeworld side and not the purchaser. We'll have to wait and see, but I think eventually this deal will go through at around 12 Rand. I think it's trading at 11.55 currently.